Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. And do you hear that, guys? Do you? No, neither do I. That's the sound of silence, apart from, of course, the giant mechanical monsters stomping around on the splash screen. Otherwise, the house is quiet because term time has resumed, and so can normal scheduling. A couple more years, I can pack the little ones off to school as well. Very exciting stuff. Isn't it terrible that that's what you get excited about when you're older, is term time resuming? Like, summer's just something to get past. Once you reach a certain age, it's not exciting anymore. Oh, humbug. Yeah, I wish I could say, I can tell I've got a cold as well, guys. I wish I could say it was a parting gift from my kids before they went off to school. No, this is something I cultivated all by my lonesome. That's it. Don't ever get old, guys. It truly sucks. Do whatever it takes to stay young. Invent a huge evil Bond villain machine that runs on the souls of dead children if you must, to keep you eternally youthful. Whatever it takes, guys, do it, because this just blows. I would like to say as well, obviously term started like a week ago. You know that if you lived in the UK. And so you're like, Guile, where is this cast? This should have come out last week. Well, I did try, actually, but I had one of those juicy, unhandled exception things that gets you 30 minutes into a cast and then FAF crashes. So yeah, it was pretty good mood that day, it has to be said. It's a good thing the cat that recently peed on my son's bed wasn't lingering anywhere near me. She might have gotten herself throttled. I'd like to make it clear that Guilecast and no one that works here condones animal cruelty of any kind, or indeed child cruelty, having talked about machines that run on the souls of dead children. Anyway, I digress. Let's get on with today's game. It's going to be a custom 5v5 with an eclectic mix of Joes and Prove on adaptive Adrastea. I've been playing too much Dragon Age back in the day, clearly. It's Adrastea or Adrastea. Anyway, I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen this map before. It's not one we've featured a lot of times here on Guilecast. The land kind of snakes around here in a weird fashion around these two identical, if albeit reversed, bodies of water here. And as such, the layouts are a bit weird. It's not north versus south or east versus west. No, this is Team 1 at the top here, and it ends at the left edge of the causeway. And Team 2 at the bottom snakes around and ends at the right over there with this kind of no man's land section causeway in the middle. Let's take a look at Team 1 first of all. Up here at the top right, it's my good friend Chosen, and someone's stolen his very customary mellow yellow. I'm sure he was fuming, but he's sporting a very fashionable vivacious violet here instead. Why not, sir? Very fluid of you. And he is going first land and going his customary Seraphim. Team member number 2 directly to his left. I've just come back from France, actually. I have no idea where this guy's come from, but it does look as though you should say his name with a Franco lilt, doesn't it? Fusel 13, Fusel. I promise I won't be doing that all through the cast, but just felt like doing it because why not? It's all good. He's going UEF. How very sensible. Opening first air. How very interesting. Next up, team member number 3 in Pontiff White. It's another UEF. It's Tagada. And this time he went first land, second air. Next up, team member number 4 for Team 1. It's Turbo Farmore 27. I won't be doing that all the way through the cast either. But again, another name that sounds like Turbo Farmore. It's a lot of serious intent there, but he can't have been very serious because he went cyber. And in Elephantine Grey, opening first land, going second air. And last but not least, for Team 1 at the western approach of the causeway, it's none other than Cookie Noob. He's going Seraphim in Hallie Orange, and he's going land all day. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much. So that's Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2 down here at the bottom left. He's stolen Chosen's yellow, his mellow yellow. We can forgive him for that, but not for the whole Cybern business. It's Squirtily going first air. Team member number 2 for Team 1. It's another UEF, this time in an electric blue. It's Sesko Noob, and he's going first land, second air. Next up, team member number 3 is Key Blue, another blue player. This time it's Baby Blue. It's Seraphim going first land, second air. Team member number 4, and it's the winner of this week's Dramatic Name Award. It's Only Suffering. I don't know what I'm doing with the names today, guys. I promise you it won't continue. But it's, again, like Only Suffering. He's featured once or twice before. And I'm sure I made the same comment. Not that I'm trying to persuade you to change your name, sir. It's absolutely fine. If you want to be a drama queen, that's all good with you, sir. Well, we don't know what came first, the chicken, the egg, the land, or the air, but we're going to say first land, second air next to the Hydro, third land, because why not? And last but not least, he's got Dave 1 underneath his ACU, but we know it's Farm Schlet. There he is, going Aeon and going land all day in burgundy red. Gain quality at 93.75%. That's what we consider to be a balanced cast here at Guilecast, and an eclectic mix, as we said before. Lowest ranking player up here is Fusel, and he is going third at 1,000. And then we've got, what is it? They've got a 2,000 there right to his south in Farmschlet. And we've got an 1,800 up at Chosen there. So it does range quite well, but I think the average is definitely above pro level. Now, something interesting developing here, and it wasn't that early kill of a scout against... I don't know if it was actually the scout. We had a scout getting killed up here belonging to Cookie Noob, and then one engineer that was desperately trying to make his way along the beach to scoop some mass that didn't belong to him. But no, an Aurora eventually worked out the difficulties with shooting through sand and decided to approach. But the interesting thing I was going to talk about is the 4 ACUs that are all piling up towards the central causeway and coming Cookie Noob's way. And bless you, sir, as splendid as that T1 PD will be, that isn't going to hold. You are going to be backing up unless you get some serious assistance, and it doesn't look like it's on its way in any meaningful shape or form anytime soon. Turbo Farmer might be moving out. Yeah, it looks like he's going to get support from 1 ACU, but everybody else for Team 1 pretty happy to stop in their bases and build up. So 4 ACUs, quadruple ACU pressure being applied now from Team 2. No doubt resulting at the very least in Cookie Noob being forced to cancel that upgrade he's just started, which will be unfortunate, but certainly having to yield territory, all of these mass extractors in the middle, and could potentially threaten his central base as well. He has upgraded his main land factory to T2, so we'll have access to some T2 goodies there. 1 naval yard down belonging to Sesko Noob. At the bottom, some good harassment from Cookie Noob, trying to keep those naval yards in check. Can be very difficult on a map such as this to hold on to your base in a position like this if you start getting T2 vessels coming your way. But here we go. Cookie Noob only 40% the way through an upgrade, has to cancel that gun upgrade. The T1 PD did not last long at all, and there's a lot of T1 from Farmschlet accompanying these ACUs as well, only suffering, lagging behind a bit. Took a while to come back, had the furthest distance to travel as well, but there's still 3 ACUs versus 1. We do have more PDs going up at the back here. That T1 PD being produced by a T2 NG, still not likely that's going to get completed. Sesko Noob a stone's throw away now. Turbo Farmore enters the fray and will provide Sesko Noob with a little bit of assistance, but we will get a T2 PD online, I reckon, and that might just help Cookie Noob to hold here. Sesko Noob advancing with great gusto and purpose and absorbing an awful lot of fire from the Zooies and the Thams, and now surely the ACUs are potentially a T2 PD as well, and Sesko Noob dropping down into the red. This has all gone horribly wrong inside the first 10 minutes for T2. He's dodging, he's weaving, he's swerving, but the best laid plans of mice and men end up in the toilet once again. Sesko Noob defeated at 6.5 minutes, ending up, as all many careers in Subcom do, in a plume of ionized gas, and what looked like a very confident and well put together strategy in the opening stages has really gone awry there for Team 2. They find themselves a man down, and helpfully all those naval yards that were under construction down there have gone as well. That will relieve some pressure. We've now got T2 Yenzines coming out from Sesko Noob heading south, and if you can use those to help get Squirtly's naval yards taken out, then he will prevent any pressure. If he can hold that down, that corner of the screen down, then he will save himself a great headache later on. Now suddenly the whole ACUs for Team 1 remaining in the base business up here seems like a sensible option. Both Chosen and Fusel already have T2 naval yards, and no doubt will start producing the associated racial cruisers, both of course missile ships, and that could cause huge amounts of problems for Farmschlet as he has to contend with that. T1 bombers out for Fusel, harassing Farmschlett's base, trying to take out some of those T1 P-gens. Down go 4 of them. Good option would be that T2 P generator, but he's not going to grab that now that there are ascendants pouring out of that T2 land factory. I just can't believe how badly that went for Team 2. Sesko Noob, actually the clanmate of Cookie Noob, of course, both on SNF. So that will be something for them to joke about, or something for Cookie Noob to joke about later, I'm sure. But at the very least, it still gained them control of the causeway, and there's lots of mass extractors here. Of course, the problem with that is these mass extractors are incredibly difficult to hold on to when you've got naval presence of your opponents in the pond right next to it. So of limited benefit. However, we do have those mass extractors under Farmschlett's control, and in fact one of them on the causeway is the closest one there at T2 already. And that might provide us with a handy little segue in to talk about the general state of the economy here. Highest ranking player in terms of eco right now is Squirtly. You might expect that, as he's cannibalized his teammate Sesko Noob's old base there that was right next to him, so you would expect him to be higher up. And if you were to divide that in half, that's not a good eco between the two of them compared to everybody else. Otherwise, other high players, we've got Key Blue on 72. You've got Turbo Farmer on 72. I promised I wouldn't do that. It's quite hard to resist, actually. I wasn't prepared for how difficult it was going to be. We've got Farmschled on 67, nice and high as you would expect. Tagada just jumps up to 72 there. And the others are kind of lingering around the low 60s, high 40s, that kind of range. And then Cookie Noob, of course, has been under sustained pressure since the very beginning of this, is down in the 25 region, and that is an accurate appraisal. That's not bottlenecked on power or anything like that. And Dave, or should we say Farmschlett, having graded his comm with the gun upgrade, the range, and the personal shield as well, continuing to apply pressure on Cookie Noob's front line. Turbo Farmer's constructed a shield for a couple of those a couple of those T2 PDs to linger behind. But did you see that? One of the overcharges went through the shield and hit the T2 PD. I'm absolutely sure of it, when everything else is bouncing off the shield. So clearly that was protected by the shield, but somehow that one overcharge skipped through. Something for the devs to look into, I'm sure. Definitely worth raising if someone wants to post that on the forums with a timestamp on the video. Very curious indeed. Maybe I hallucinated from my delirious cold fever that I'm experiencing right now. I love that. I think you're getting a little bit of extra sympathy there. But Farmschlett applying just the right amount of pressure to take out a couple of defenses and then back up. He doesn't want to overextend and go the way of Sesko Noob, the way of the dodo. Lots of dodos dying to the Seraphim in the 1800s, of course, not very well known. It's the main reason for their extinction. Gunships out for Squirtly, helping to defend the coastline there. But you see Squirtly still on T1 naval yards and still not really in a position to put anything out that's really going to apply pressure to Cookie Noob. And you compare that with what's going on in the top right. A horrible mix of Seraphim and UEF Navy, arguably the worst possible mix of two races you could have for certainly for base bombardment. They're going to have the benefit of bulwark ships to keep them safe, and they can just load up on cruisers to defend against the air game. And of course, very unlikely anything's going to come this way in terms of naval power from Team 2. Best way they're going to defend, says Farmschlett, best way we're going to defend is mass floaty floaty naughty naughty, and that's certainly what he's got underway here. Lots of blazes with asylums to cover, and the occasional aurora in there as well, and some ascendants for air coverage as well. And it looks like he's made the assessment that this is now where the biggest threat lies, certainly for him at least. He needs to do something to contend with this. The amount of cruisers is going to increase exponentially. One thing that plays into his favor a little bit is, of course, the relief of the land here, and he's nicely nestled in most of his sensitive structures. His HQ its power structures in behind the cliff edge. So it's going to be hard to get a solution on that unless they get the cruisers in here, and they can send those missiles in over the side. I already see missiles coming in. Actually, well, they're coming in over the top. I might have been talking absolute gubbins. Few of them impacting on the cliff edge, but most of them just skirting over the edge, admittedly enough to catch the scent of a volcano countermeasure and scoot off in a random direction. But nonetheless, they might be able to dish out more damage than I thought they were going to be. Maybe it's only some more direct fire weapons that are going to be a problem there for the Navy. But Farmschlet, having recovered most of his health, coming out, assisting his floaty, naughty, and repelling this naval pressure. Meanwhile, over here, a little bit of interceptor play on the bottom pond. Taggart has brought his ACU, in fact he did that some time ago, to help reinforce Cookie Noob's position. Cookie Noob still looking pretty peaky there on his ACU, 4,500 hit points. Needs to be very careful indeed, doesn't want to overextend and get himself caught. They want to throw away the extra man advantage that they have for the time being. But yeah, it's got to be said, losing Sesko, not ideal, but certainly hasn't hurt them too much. They're looking pretty good, Team 2. They still have control of the majority of the causeway. This is certainly what would frighten me if I was Farmschlet. It's I mean, it's not ideal. Yes, you can hit back with your blazers. It's not the most ideal situation to be in. And the fact that he's facing Chosen as well, the highest ranking player on Team 1, you know that's going to be causing problems. Of course, having said that, Farmschlet, with access to potentially dramatically more eco, with a larger map share than Chosen, who's pretty much sitting on that top right-hand corner, has expanded out over here with one T1 land factory and is just shoveling Zois down here, potentially for some kind of mass Zui pressure, or maybe just a run in here and try and brutalize some of the emplacements and T1 mass extractors in the middle. Who knows what his plan is? You'd think I would, since I actually casted most of this the other day, which we couldn't use. But I promise you, I have forgotten completely. But now we do have T2 units, naval units on the field for Team 2. And they are those dreaded Salems that could sprout legs and go walkie-walkie at any moment, causing untold problems for Sesko Noob. But actually, they don't need to. They can keep their speed, keep their maneuverability, sit in the pond, and do all of the damage they want to at range. It's terribly difficult, actually, sitting in these two places, even though Farmschlet is making it look relatively easy. Nice unit composition, lots of asylums, shield gens in the main base, lots of floaty pressure to keep the boats at bay. Doing a very good job indeed, and not doing too bad on eco at the same time, sitting at around, well, I've said it, that it was sitting around about 95 there a moment ago. That was clearly reclaim related, drops back to 75. Taggart, meanwhile, way out in front on 169. I'm wondering if that's reclaim related. Seems impossibly high compared to everyone else. Jumps to 206, surely scooping up mass from somewhere. 139 for Turbo Farmer and 116 for Squirtly, but definitely the really high numbers seem to be around Team 1 at the moment. Cookie Noob mode takes a snipe attempt and a little bit of collateral damage from a couple of strap bombers from Key Blue, picks off the ACU, and down goes Cookie Noob. So both of the SNF players out inside the first 20 minutes, and Team 2 will be thrilled at that, leveling the game in terms of player count at 15, nearly 16 minutes. Very nicely done indeed, and now the inevitable rush of both teams to try and cannibalize the base, try and get in there and scoop the mass extractors, bring them into their team's domain. I think it's going to be Team 1 that makes the successful grab. Tacked there with his ACU. In comes Engineers by airdrop, though they don't last very long. Those Salems in range, along with the Sirens there, or the Siren. It's going to make life very difficult. I don't know. Farmschlet steaming in now with a lot of build capacity as well. Have to keep an eye on that as we go back over to the eastern edge of the map. Chosen lobbing commander base tactical missiles, trying to get a snipe and almost hits Dave there. He has got a recharging shield on board, but looks like he might have been hit a few times already, down to 5,700. Wants to stay as mobile as possible. Oh, he led there where he didn't need to. Only suffering with one Gunther on the edge there. That's going to get taken down eventually by some cruiser missiles. But Farmstead says, I like your T2 static emplacement artillery idea. Let's do that. So he's going to build a whole ton of them. I'm very doubtful he's going to complete that build order. But certainly getting a few online over here. If you can sneak the shells past, will at least keep the governors and of course Seraphim cruisers, which I'm not going to try and pronounce, either off to the side over here or over here. Back over at what was Cookie Noob's old base. Farm Schlet trying desperately to get established. Has one land factory online, but look at this. Those Salems have traversed the causeway. Another one coming to help as well. In comes both Fusel and Tagada there with a bunch of Stingers trying to take it down from the air. And they've got a lot of ASF coverage from Turbo Farmer and Tagada as well. Quick raid by some Key Blue ASFs. Takes care of those Stingers, but a quick completion from Turbo Farmer of a Monkey Lord will stroll that forward, and that will be the end of that little Cybran threat there. Gets his microwave laser in range and misses promptly. Some very, very rude fish. Said some things about his uncle. Didn't like that at all. Had to get revenge on those first. Priorities, my dear. Now he's going to strut his stuff off down the causeway, trying to stop Farmschlet from getting established on the corner here. Back over in the east, Dave, or Farmschlet, looking very peaky indeed, but goodness me, we nearly had another snipe. 400 hit points left on only suffering. Attack missiles from Chosen's commander still coming in periodically. Defended there by an asylum belonging to Farmschlet as it passed, but only suffering, looking like he might make it back safely to shield coverage. We've got fighter bombers coming in there from Chosen. Excuse me. But only suffering will make it to safety. I might have spoken too soon. He's out the other side of the shield. Missed a potential snipe there. But he gets out of it very close indeed. And we only, I mean, he was on 3,400 when we came back over here. So goodness only knows whatever caused that. I'm guessing it was the submarine fire, the Tiger Sharks in here from Fusel that were dishing out a lot of the damage. So, I mean, he must have been considerably lower while he was in the water. Whatever it was, he was very lucky indeed. But Farmschlet says in local chat, no Navy for you. As he's obviously been successful in killing off Chosen's naval factory. And that will make him breathe a sigh of relief, I'm sure. All of the cruisers for Chosen have died off. We still have a couple of governors for Fusel over here. And Fusel, of course, with his naval yard still intact, and he's got a pretty good eco as well at 126. Chosen actually was behind him on 91. He's been bearing the brunt of the attacks as they come in land from Farmschlet. Definitely a priority target. We've got an 1800 and 1000. You want to neutralize the 1800 first. Is that another Monkey Lord? That is another Monkey Lord. Where was the first one? Has that been killed off? I would have thought it would have come down this way or come down this way. Do you know what? I think we missed that. Another Monkey Lord coming there from Squirtly. So much going on in this game. No, he's still alive. It's been pulled back to use defensively. He's got 26 kills to his name, and Turbo Farmer bringing that back to try and intercede on Tagada's behalf as all of this pile of floaty BS comes his way. And we've got T3 Mexes here, which will be priority targets if they stick around to kill him. Not a lot of DPS coming off the blazes, of course, and lots of hit points on those T3 mass extractors. 9,000 to be precise. Emerging from the water is the Monkey Lord, picking off Auroras as it goes. The blazes still out of range though, and of course under shield coverage, making their way in towards Fusel's base. Fusel's got a handy Ravager right up in the center there. Things of beauty, those T3 PDs. Yes, they've managed to get the run by completed. They just don't have the damage. That is the drawback to the Blazers. And Turbo Farmer pulling that Monkey Lord back. Now, where's that Monkey Lord for Squirtly? Well, it's about to breach onto the causeway. Still no one able to get control of Cookie Noob's old base. See, that's the difference. When Sesko Noob went down, Squirtly was able to jump right in there because of the positioning. When you lose a base like this, it's much harder to regain control, and that will have long-term detrimental effects on Team 1's chances in this game, I'm sure.
Strategic launch detected.
Hello! Where did that come from? That came from Tagada, sneakily building a nuke up at the back. And where's it going? It's going straight for Squirtly. And at first glance, no strategic missile defense in his base. He's evacing. How very sensible. If only he had an SMD, that would be even more sensible. Still, that's not a slow nuke. 23 minutes in. Obviously caught them all by surprise. And Tagada scores a very large victory there for his team. Squirtly takes a huge hit, dropping from about 248 mass down to 183, feeding off his teammates' power sources. So not bottlenecked on power. That's an accurate reading of the mass he's now putting out. Unless, of course, no. Don't worry about me. I'll ready to come out with stupid comments at any moment. Saved that one though, but what wasn't saved was Tagada's Monkey Lord. Finally bites the dust in very convenient range for Farmschlet, who's going to put that mass to good use, I'm sure. But look at that revenge from Squirtly. Marches his Monkey Lord straight into Tagata's base and starts vaporizing everything. Tagata, not Tagata, God, Turbo Farmer, talking absolute garbage. This is what happens when your head is full of cold. But Turbo Farmer's base in tatters, his ACU safe under the water, as is Tagata's. Tagata completes a Fat Boy in the nick of time, has a Ravager online, soon to be 2, and that should prevent the Monkey Lord from taking out his base as well. Does manage to kill off the Hydro, won't worry about that at this stage in the game, and does manage to grab himself a nice mass boost as well. If he was a lovely guy, he would allow Turbo Farmer to scoop that mass and get re-established, but who knows? Very unlikely. Could be argued that Tagada could put it towards better use. They need to hit back and hit back soon. They're now effectively running off a 3-man team. Turbo Farmer completely muted. Nothing turbo about his position in this game anymore. Chosen skillfully maneuvering away from Only Suffering's Monkey Lord. And what is a lot of pressure. Look at all this. We've got floating spam, T2 spam from Farmschlet. All of those Salems that have made their way across the map from Squirtly now lobbing their fire inland. And of course, Only Suffering's experimental just off the coastline there as well. Didn't fancy getting in there and trying to cause as much damage as he could. Now, they don't last long against Ravagers. There are 3 of them online. Perhaps just waiting for some more work to be done by Squirtly's Navy. They've got a bit of a problem, though, in the form of these broadswords. But they won't last too long against all of the ascendants that they've racked up there. Farmschlet accruing a lot of anti-aircraft firepower. Lost maybe 1 or 2 Salems in that exchange, but still 4 of them operational. Fat Boy moving into position from Tagata, and that will enhance Team 1's defensive capabilities on this coastline dramatically. Only Suffering just looking for a route in with his Monkey Lord. I don't see a problem with that. Why not just send it up, take out Chosen's base and get back underwater? Even if you didn't take out all of it, you could cause some serious damage. Keep him as pinned down as is humanly possible. How long till the next nuke, I wonder? It's ready to go. Look at that. So a second nuke from Tagata due any moment. Who's it going to be? Do we have SMD? Oh, look, an arse washer on the way as well. Well, lots and lots of vulnerable targets. We have got an SMD here, so that isn't one of them. That has a anti-nuke loaded. Farmschlet potentially vulnerable as well. Hard to see at a quick glance with so much going on. But out goes the nuke. Where is it going? It's Only Suffering. Will be living up to his name. And nothing in the way to stop that either. So Tagada really putting the nuke launcher to good use here and hitting back for his team. That will strike and strike hard. Kaboom! That's a thing of beauty. Look at that, just misses it, nicks the T2 mass extractor down there. Only Suffering plummets in terms of generated eco, 77 mass per tick for him now. Interestingly, Tagada with 2 Fat Boys, but not sparing that one, not leaving that one to defend this coastline. You pop it over here, and there's nothing that's going to be able to hit out at the north coastline here, and you can also prevent Farmschlet from getting established in the naval game, which he looks like he's going to be able to do. Astonishingly, with everything that's happened in this game, wouldn't have given that a fair chance early on, with how much pressure was being applied, but no, he's done really well with help from Squirtly and Only Suffering's experimental as well. Completely obliterated Fusel and Chosen's naval position up here at the top. Kept them confined to the land, and I really think Tagata would have done his team a better assistance, a better job if he'd left that experimental in place. Random T1 naval yard over here as well, built by Farmschlet, not constructing anything anymore. That's unlikely to survive. Coming up to the 30-minute mark in this one. Mass leader is Tagada at 298. Then we've got 277 at Key Blue down here. 258 for Farmschlet. 274 for Squirtly. And And everybody else sub 200. Turbo Farmer on 15. Really, you've got to like Team 2's chances at the moment. It's looking pretty good for them in terms of map control, in terms of eco. Tempest under construction there as well, and this will cause massive problems for Team 1 if they can't keep this under control down here. They can't keep Farmschlet out of the naval game. Farmschlet gains naval supremacy up here, then these bases are done, especially with a Tempest in play. But game changers always on the way in this game, especially at this level. Fusel nearly done on a fat boy of his own. Maybe that's why Tagada withdrew his. Some good communication perhaps on the part of Team 1. And of course a chicken on the way as well for Chosen. Fusel hitting back again in the air with broadswords. Killing off the vulnerable units as they become vulnerable, but those Ascendants chewing through those T3 gunships. Some assistance from Key Blue's air wing as well helps to sort those out. But now we have 3 experimentals from Team 1, 2 Fat Boys and a Monkey Lord, and not a lot defensively down here, so Squirtily potentially vulnerable there. Tagada with a second strategic missile launcher online with another nuke in there, so a third nuke on the way potentially. He's hit Squirtly, he's hit Only Suffering. Any strategic missile defense in Farmschlet's base yet? It doesn't look like it, so he could be the next target, or indeed of course all of this. That would be one way to stamp out Farmschlet's naval aspirations. And this might be another way. Ethota southward bound for Chosen. That Tempest about to be 75% complete and go green. We've got the Monkey Lord heading down the causeway now. Always difficult with Monkey Lords, of course. You're very vulnerable on something like this, taking fire from long range, from vessels the other side of the causeway, which your main weapon can't hit back. But that arse washer from Key Blue donated over to Farmschlet, who's going to use it to defend his base against the Monkey Lord. That connects, takes it down to about 50% of its total health. But that's still a major problem potentially. The Tempest is now complete, and Team 1 need to kill that off and kill it quick. Chosen has his Ethota in the area. Turbo Farmer opens up with his Monkey Lord. It loses its acquisition briefly as the Tempest sends its submerge order. It does finally duck beneath the waves. In come the blazes, and they open up on the Monkey Lord, and that shows you just how bad the damage is off the blazes. There are so many of them there, and it's not doing that much against the Monkey Lord. Another bomb away from the Awasar on top of Chosen's chicken this time. That's still looking pretty good with a lot of health left. In comes Dave trying to overcharge it, but he's saying it's not overcharging. What on earth? Dave moving forward, he's trying to overcharge. He's got energy storage, so why it's not working, I don't understand. The shield is gone. The Monkey Lord is nearly dead. No! No way! Just as the Monkey Lord dies. That is a brutal way to get a bug, and someone needs to look into that, because he had power storage. He had 9,000 power in the bank. There's no reason why that overcharge didn't work, and Team 1 just massively benefit there from a bug in the system. Very unfortunate indeed. This fracas, though, still not over. The Fat Boy that was coming across the causeway from Tagada gets annihilated by a strap bomb rush from Key Blue. Out comes Tagada to respond with his ASS, trying to take down these strats that are now heading for his main base. seems to have forgotten that he's got a nuke ready, and it looks like only one strap bomb will get away and impact uselessly on top of the shield, but what surely won't be useless was an experimental bomber, and that connects, takes down a couple of significant structures over there. Out goes the nuke, though. He doesn't want to lose control of that. It's gonna hit a Corsair from Squirtley and annihilate Tagada's base completely. Oh my god. Well, that's vindication, at least, for the death of Farmschlet. A lovely, probably accidental nuke block from Squirtley. He looked like he was in there just to add extra damage onto Tagada's base. Tagada's comm wasn't in there, so he's still in the game, but his base is not. And a nuke that was surely going to come down here and hit something, either only suffering, probably not Key Blue. As we said earlier, he had anti-nuke loaded and ready to go. But goodness me, this game is ridiculous. That Awasar still alive, and with 115 kills to its name, still causing problems. Probably wants to stay away from the flayers over here. Dish out unnecessary damage. Oh, it's not pretty. But there are still two working operational Fat Boys for Tagada, and there is an operational... Oh my goodness me, the operational Athota has traversed all the way over here after the death of Farmschlet from Chosen, and is now locked on to Key Blue, who's desperately trying to dodge, and he's doing a pretty good job of it, but he needs to be very careful that he's got a ways to go before he can get to safety, and he needs to avoid this, especially the huge plasma ball of death with its massive alpha strike. Does not manage to do it. Key Blue goes out at 35 minutes, almost on the nose, and only suffering is in the area as well with his comm. If he heads directly south, he might be able to get underwater, but I don't know how deep that is. Chosen very close indeed to Only Suffering's commander. Does he even see it? He hasn't got a signature on it, and he hasn't caught sight of it yet either. Only Suffering. Okay. So it looks like he's got the upgrade there for stealth, and this will be the end of that little bit of pressure. But Key Blue out of the game, and of course that deals with the arse washer that was flying around, causing so many problems for Team 1. Can't believe how lit this game has gotten in the last 2 minutes. Or 5 minutes even. It's absolutely ridiculous. There goes the Athota. Tagada reaches the base of Only Suffering with his Monkey Lord. Not with his Monkey Lord, sorry, with his Fat Boy, but a Monkey Lord of Only Suffering will kill him off. But there's another one up behind it from Fusel, and he doesn't like the look of that. Doesn't want to try. Knows he can't kill off the Monkey Lord before it dips below the water, and he can't get any closer and deal more damage to the base without the same thing happening to him, so he doesn't like the look of that. Tagada still with a working Fat Boy over here, however. But a bug out now from Squirtley. What's going to happen here, I wonder? This game is so crazy. Probably should have waited till I was healthy to cast this one. I'm trying so hard to hold it together with everything that's going on. It's not working well. I have to explain. Absolutely ridiculous game. Do we finally get some kind of lull in the action now? At 36 minutes. Huge body of Corsairs over here for Squirtley. But a Soul Ripper online, a Megalith online. Plenty of offensive weaponry. T1 bombers for Chosen harassing Squirtley's base down there. He's not going to be too worried about that. Most of his eco hidden up here in the T3 mexes up on the ridge. Doesn't look like Chosen's prioritizing those at the moment. And it's just all-out offense. It's like no worrying for Squirtley about trying to get his ASFs over here to protect Only Suffering's base. It's like, no, protect my Corsairs, blow up Team 1's base. Do it. Soul Ripper biding its time. What's it going to go after? I've got to be happy about the Tagada self-nuking. I really do feel like that kind of evened out the demise of Farm Schlet just a little bit. That bug has taken a lot of fire from those flares and is still taking fire from the floating flak there from Chosen. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a bad way to lose a bug if you can't get that to safety. And still taking damage deep into the red. 4,000 hit points left, 2,300. Strays out of range, but the trouble is that bug's now effectively useless unless he's flying it against something with absolutely no anti-air capabilities whatsoever. But now Tagada finds himself nestling up to a crab. Never a particularly great place to hang out. Those torpedoes colliding with Tagada's chassis now. And I don't know how he's going to get away from that either. Locked onto it. Tagada potentially in the death throes now. Slow demise to those tickling torpedoes. And Squirtly wants to finish off the job. He's bringing in torpedo bombers now. Going after that strategically placed flare in the center there. They'd all gone after Tagada en masse. They might have been able to bag a kill there. So that's interesting. But what? Another experimental bomber. Where even is it? It's over here, and it's from Chosen, and it's taking out Squirtly's base. And Squirtly's going to get one in the face. And there he goes. So Squirtly's ejected. And that's going to save Tagada potentially. It is going to save Tagada. That crab is going to go. There it goes. Tagada with a fresh mass dump right on the shoreline there. This game is ridiculous. And that leaves only suffering. I can't believe it. Team 1 have won. It's absurd. Absolutely absurd. You can argue that it would have been a very different game had Farm Schlet's overcharge not bugged out like that, but I don't know. That's absolutely ridiculous. Down goes the plateau. One offensive weapon really remains now for only suffering and Team 2, and that is this Monkey Lord. It's only 12.5k hit points left on that. He's got that, and he's got a Salem. That's pretty much it. There is nothing left with which to hit back once those things are gone. And is this it's T3 artillery? It is. There's a Duke. I thought I spied that hitting what's his name, Squirtly's base a little bit earlier, just as that Awasar from Chosen was wasting everything. He's found Only Suffering's comm lurking in the bay and picked him off, and that is game of 41 minutes. Unreal. What a ridiculous game, and I can't tell you how chuffed I am that we got through it this time. And it was like 35 minutes I got to or something last week when I was going to cast this, or I was trying to cast this for you guys, and yeah, I only needed 41 minutes. It was gutting, absolutely gutting. It was one of those stupid ones as well. There's ridiculous crashes that you hardly ever have, and happened in a recording, but I knew it was going to happen. Like at some point it was going to happen in the middle of a cast. Hopefully that'll be the last time for the next 6 years or whatever. But oh my word, what a wonderful game. Thank you to everybody involved. Thank you to whoever submitted it to me. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. I certainly did. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon, guys, if you feel so inclined. Every donation helps me, and by extension, of course, the channel and the community. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And why not with the next video? Just like and subscribe immediately, because for some reason, immediate likes translates to goodness in the eyes of YouTube and Google. So improves circulation. I don't know why, but in their wisdom, that is what they've decided. Until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.